Ayushi of class 11 from Pragati Institution School. I have a query for you, sir, that how the generative AI help to reconstruct the old civilizations such as the Mohenjo-daro civilization or the Harappa civilization and many more.
Okay, there are two things you said which were a little bit reconstruct means rebuilding, right? I don't think that's the main point you are talking about. Learn about it. So as I said, generative AI application, I'm not so sure. I don't have that knowledge to give you. Generative AI application still I see is very early stages. Most generative applications are language applications, either image and video, but will go further. But right now, AI in general is being used to figure out all archaeological things. Even if you go to Egypt, they're using drones. They're using laser LiDAR technology to get data points. And those data points are huge. Actually, LiDAR, if you look at it, my Tesla car collects almost 20 gigabytes of data per day. Gigabytes of data per day. So the amount of data collects is huge. So to detect and come out with the information what was there in Mohenjo-daro and or any civilization is a lot of AI tools is used for that. We ultimately it's a lot about graphing and connecting. So a lot of AI people and then also finding anomalies, right? Oh, this is something different. This is not actually so they use a lot of tools. And actually, you look at Google or YouTube and look for this guy called Alfred Lin. And interestingly, he's an engineer from engineer. He lost his legs, but now he's an archaeologist and a mountaineering guy. So he goes around and searches this amazing places. So look at that. You'll find some interesting facts.
So my name is Sanchita Panda from class 11 CBSE Pragati Concept School. So my question was how AI algorithm helps in geological survey.
So actually it does. So all this I'm not just to let you know I'm not expert in that area, but I can tell you that a lot of vision when you take a satellite picture, right? So satellite pictures there are various kind of maps, right? The maps which are used by Google Maps, and that is interesting about the geology being used to detect minerals as well as detect archaeology. There's a very fascinating guy called Alfred Lin. He goes and does he just LiDAR. So have you ever come to challenge is also everything is covered, right? So there is all this thing, but then digging is costly. So you use LiDAR and AI LiDAR to get the LiDAR is called laser. So you bombard like millions of lasers at one point and get the data. And then once you get the data, you use AI tools to detect kana isotopy. So they use a lot of things will be positive, negative, some deformation. So AI tools are used to figure out that what may be inside the earth without actually uncovering anything, right? So a lot of AI tools are used for that. So that's why I think it's used.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Pratiksha Agasti from Pragati Concept School, class 11 Science. My question is that how AI can be implemented for solving the diagnosis issues in the medical field.
And actually, medical field is going to be huge. Diagnosis of it. So, medical field is where there are a couple of areas in medical field where AI will be used. First is detection, right? As I say, X-ray detection is AI is used a whole lot, right? And second one is a lot of anomalies they're looking at to detect. So mostly PET scan, X-ray, all of this will be AI driven, are actually being AI driven now, right? And will be much more. Even if you read last year, just a few days ago, Musk X-ray, you download your health data into X, which is the old Twitter, and for me. So what happens with the health data? It can diagnose the depending on what pattern, what disease you might have, right? We all have genetic code. So based on the health data, can we detect future that you will have XYZ disease ahead is what the name of the game, right? The other people who are doing, for example, in the US, let's say you have a surgery. If you come back to the same hospital within 30 days, the hospital is penalized, right? And it is a very costly affair. So the AI model was used actually to detect who potentially can come back, why people are coming back, what are the reasons why people are coming back. Even as simple as those are slight small applications which are not diagnostic applications, but the main diagnostic application will be huge. AI will be deeply ingrained in this field. Even now in Japan, there are no nurses. The nurse is replaced by a robot. Right? It will come and give you food. It will also give you some emotion, say, how are you? It will not give you maybe too much emotional thing, but it will give you some emotions and positive feedback. Seniors, people who are old in many countries, they are living by themselves, right? And so now you can have a robot who will talk to you and give you the emotional help that you need. So things are changing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sri Prasanta Behera, a student of Doctoral Science from Pragati Institution. So my question is that how AI can be useful in education, or you may say how AI helps a student.
The education of yesterday years is going to be much different than tomorrow. It's happening now, right? What you learn in school is great, but it's not enough, right? Now you have to learn more than what's going on out there, right? The teachers have only so much bandwidth to teach you. That's why I have to tinker. So education system, I think future will be a lot more dynamic in per se, right? It's not going to be fixated on certain things. And also, learning systems are going to change, right? You can see if you hey, I want to take a class on Coursera, it'll figure out what you should take, what classes you should do. There is also computer level testing mechanism to get there. Trainings are there also. The AI system now, instead of now the education system is very much like screen by screen, right? It's all defined for same thing. Content is defined for each person. Let's say I want to learn, let's say AI. Let's say, well, I can say I'm an engineer. I know program a little. The content is fixed. Whether I do it or somebody does it. But no, the new content will be very much geared towards specifically for you. You will say, I have this. You become the profile and you give inputs. And as you are learning, it will automatically change the speed of the class. It will not be waiting for, hey, I have to click on it. It will change the content. It will change the speed of learning. It will also automatically figure out what should I do to make you understand better. So this dynamic way of learning is always going to be built in, right? So that's one example of how this will be used in educational system. I'm sure there are more use cases, more things, but this is how it will be.
Class 11 Science Pragati Concept School. My query is that any possibility in the future that AI will use in the wars?
Just like the nuclear, people studying nuclear bombs, right? Even the dynamic example, it was invented to actually make life easier for miners, right? There's a lot of mining going on in those times in most of Europe, and miners were being hampered, so he created dynamite to TNT, which is to create make it easy. So that was the purpose of this. But over the time, it has gone. There are good parts and the bad parts, right? And dynamite is also used correctively, but that is being used to create guns, right? So there is a possibility like that. If you have watched Matrix movie, right? That's how it happens, right? It goes to the bad stuff. So there is always a possibility, and that's why. Now, how do you go about doing it? There are a couple of ways. One is governments maybe regulating. Now, one example is right now a lot of kids are going chat GPT and go, hey, more essay leke de. Leke ho je? Are you the process submit kar do jo? That's a bad thing. right? So ChatGPT now will create something that when you use it, there will be a mark, there will be markers, like genetic markers, which you have in the body. You don't know, but there will be genetic markers. Once that genetic markers will be found, now your teacher will come, acha, eta test system hoche. So tell me it is written by ChatGPT or not, to give an answer, yes. Right? So, same thing. So it's always continuous. How far in 100 years could you go? Good question.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself Pragati Behera from class 11, Pragati Concept School. So I have a question is that if I don't know about coding, can I learn technical aspect of AI?
Absolutely. Coding is just one aspect, and it's mostly for, right? For example, what will happen is the tools, right? For example, let's say you used to, let's say, use paper and pen to do calculation, right? Or let's say you have to accounting, right? You have to keep track of your monthly costs, this and that. You keep paper. Now mostly people use Excel or Google Sheet, right? It's a tool, and you can do all the equations and macros and all this thing to make life easier, right? So there are people who are still relying on. If you say, hey, I can do your thing by paper pen according to nobody will hire you. But I say, if I go and I know Excel spreadsheet, I know this software, then people will say, okay, great, we'll hire you. Same thing, you have to know how to use AI tools. The last question is, do you feel comfortable that you know enough that I can use AI tools to make better? For example, there's a lot of documents as well, right? So, okay, can you summarize this for me, right? Okay, you read all the paper and all this thing, and give me in half an hour, right? You read all the things and write all the things, summarize them. I say, okay, let me quickly class today, let me put in ChatGPT, it comes to the form, I'll then correct it, get a snippet, and I'll cross check it, right? So that is how it will be, right? So using the tools doesn't mean that you have to know how to code it, like mobile phones, right? You don't know how the mobile phone works, right? You do not know at level, but you know how to use it to make your life better. You know how to call, you know how to use your apps, you know how to do your everything that you want to do through that particular thing, right? Same thing. AI tools be like that, where you have to learn how to use it to make your life better. You don't have to know coding. But coding helps a little bit. I personally think everyone should learn a little bit of coding. Because every field will have some data. Even if you know Excel spreadsheet very well and you can do some data analysis in Excel, it's a good thing. So you don't have to know Python programming, but you have to, hey, I can take this 10,000 rows of data, I can manipulate it, create a graph, and understand what it means. This is step one. I would suggest that at least.